Hi everyone. Today I would like to present the material about teaching speaking. In this chapter, there are six parts for we can learn. A. Reason for teaching speaking. B. Speaking sequence. C. Discussion. D. More speaking suggestion. E. Correcting speaking. And the last, what teacher do during a speaking activity. A. Reason for teaching speaking. In reason for teaching speaking, there are three main reasons for getting students to speak in the classroom. Firstly, speaking activities provide rehearsal opportunities, change to practice real life speaking in the safety of the classroom. And secondly, speaking tasks in which students try to use any or all of the language they know provide feedback for both teacher and student. And finally, the more students have opportunities to active the various elements of language they have to store in their brains, and more automatic the use of these elements become. As a result, students gradually become autonomous language users. And then, according Scott Thornbury, suggests that the teaching of speaking depends on there being a classroom culture of speaking, and that classroom need to become a talking classroom. In other words, student will be much more confident speaker, and their speaking ability will improve if this kind of speaking activation is regular feature of lesson. Um, According to Scott, it's mean like in our classroom we have make a culture during in the class because why? Because use culture in the classroom. We can improve our speaking, improve our ability, and then with the culture in the classroom, we can speak clearly, and then it's make speak clearly, and then we can have many vocabulary with the culture, and then let's move to the next part. B. Speaking sequence. In the following, there are three examples. We are going to look at very different speaking activity and speaking sequence. The first, photography competition. Photography competition, it likes when the teacher in the classroom, uh, and then when the teacher teach student in the classroom with photography competition, the teacher must make a group discussion, and then the teacher give some picture or some picture to the student, and then the student can choose they can choose the picture that has already shown to student, and then after that the teacher can give some instruction to the student, like choose the criteria of the picture, and then after that the student can see the picture and kind and find uh, what the reason why the student uh, choose the photo choose the picture, and then The second, role play. Role play it's mean like interview or presentation. And then uh, the last, the portrait interview. And then C, discussion. When, when students suddenly want to talk about something in a lesson and discussion occurs spontaneously, the results are often highly and gratifying. Spontaneous conversation of this type can be rare, yet discussion, whether spontaneous or planned, has the great advantage of provoking fluent language use. As a result, the most teacher would like to organize discussion session on a more formal basis. And then, for example, we can put them in a bus group to explore the discussion topic before organizing a discussion with the whole class. Bus group like in the one or two group there are three or four students in in each group, and then on a more formal basis we can put students into opposing groups and give them quite a lot of time for one group to prepare argument against a proposition while the other assembles argument in favor. uh, in this in discussion it's mean like debate, right? Because when we discussion before we discussion uh, about topic or material, the teacher must give some time to our complete our ability about the topic that has already uh, already shared by teacher or lecturer, so that um, we can give our argument, and then it make our ability to speak become better. And then the more speaking suggestion. The following activities are also helpful in getting students to practice speaking as a skill. Firstly, information gap activity. An information gap is where two speakers have different bits of information, and they can only complete the whole picture by sharing that information because they have different information that is a gap in between them. In the information gap activity, the picture uh, prepare some picture or some picture, and then the teacher give to the student, and then the student can choose, and then the student can give different information between different give information different information about the picture, because some student and other student have different information about the picture. And then telling story, we spend a lot of our time to telling other people's story and indulge about what happened to us and other people. Students need to be able to tell a story in English too. For the story reconstruction to be successful, they have to describe the picture they have seen, talk about them, work about what order they should be in, etc. In telling story, it's mean like we read uh, some story like uh, the crocodile and mouse deer or maling kundang, and then we can read some story, and then after that we can retelling the story for others to retell the story that has already read to other student. And then we can use watch movie, and then we can watch some minutes. After that we can retelling again the story or about what we find about the story. And then favorite objects, a variant of getting students to tell personal stories, but which may also involve a lot of storytelling. It's in is an activity in which students asked to talk about their favorite object. Things like MP3 players, object with sentimental value, instrument, clothes, jewelry, picture, and etc. They think about how they would describe their favorite object in terms of when they got them, why they got them, what they do with them, what they are so important to them, and whether there are any story associated with them. Okay, favorite object. It's mean like you can have uh, a favorite artist or actor or clothes of jewelry. For example, you can have favorite objects like actor, artist, and Agnes Mo. And then you can describe this is she looks so beautiful, and then she is smart, and then she have a good character. I mean, uh, favorite object like this, and then meeting and greeting. Student role play formal or business social association where they meet a number of people and introduce themselves. Okay, meeting and greeting. It's mean like when you meet some foreign people, and then you don't know all about them, you can greeting, and you can ask you can introduce yourself to them like what is your name, how old are you, where do you come from, and then what is your favorite food or color. And then surveys. Surveys can be used to get students interviewing each other. For example, they can design a questionnaire about people's sleeping habits with question like how many hours do you normally sleep? How do you ever walk in your sleep or talk in your sleep? And then how you ever fallen out of bed, and then etc. And then famous people. Students think of 5 famous people. They have to decide on the perfect gift to each person. We can also get groups of students to decide on which 5 famous people, or living or dead, they would most like to invite for dinner, what they would like, what we'll talk about, and what food they would like them. And then student presentation. Uh, Individual student give talk on a given topic or a person. In order for this to work for the individual, time must be given for the student to get information and structure it accordingly. It's mean like Mr. Darius uh, usually give some topic to hour, and then they have sometimes, yeah, like 1 or 2 weeks to we can prepare the information about the topic, and then after that uh, we can present the topic in the front of the class. And then balloon debate. A group of students are the basket of a balloon which is along their head. Only one person can stay in the balloon in the survey. And the last, moral dilemmas. Students are presented with a moral dilemma and asked to come to discussion about how to resolve it. For example, they are told that a student has been caught cheating in an important exam. They are then given the students circumstances and offer give five possible courses of action, from exposing the student publicly to encouraging them evidence which they have to choose between. And then correcting speaking. It will probably be necessary for teacher to correct mistake made during speaking activity in a different way from those made during a study exercise. When students are repeating sentence, trying to get their pronunciation exactly right, then the teacher will often correct or appropriately every time there is a problem. Many teachers watch and listen, while speaking activity are talking page. They note down things that seems to go well and times when students couldn't make themselves understood or made important mistake. When the activity has finished, then they then ask the student how they touch it when before giving their own feedback. And then C, discussion. When students suddenly want to talk about something in a lesson and discussion occurs spontaneously, the results are often highly and gratifying. Spontaneous conversation of this type can be rare, yet discussion, whether spontaneous or planned, has the great advantage of provoking fluent languages. As a result, the most teacher would like to organize discussion session on a more formal basis. And then, for example, we can put them in a bus group to explore the discussion topic before organizing a discussion with the whole class. Bus group like in the one or two group there are three or four students in in each group, and then on a more formal basis we can put students into opposing groups and give them quite a lot of time for one group to prepare argument against a proposition while the other assembles argument in favor. In this in discussion, it's mean like debate, right? Because when we discussion, before we discussion uh, about topic or material, the teacher must give some time to our complete our ability about the topic that has already uh, already shared by teacher. Okay, everyone, that is it of my presentation. I hope you can enjoy it. And then, if you have question or suggestion or comment, please tell me so that I can uh, explain clearly to you. Thank you.